Bro, there is no possible way that you guys are fucking patron saints and you're not bitching 24/7. There's just no way. I don't believe it.
NADESHOT is completely done with Battlefield 6 and is angry at the community. Here's why.
You've been on for a decent amount of hours while playing that game that you don't start complaining about everything. There is no way that you guys are sitting in late night Discord calls talking about how amazing life is and sharing laughs and giggling because you're having so much fun. Bro, there is no possible way that you guys are fucking patron saints and you're not bitching 24/7. There's just no way. I don't believe it.
NADESHOT is frustrated by the lack of revives in Battlefield 6 players are doing. Basically, that there should be more medics around and he should be the one doing the shots in that sense. This is the big issue that Battlefield 6 has. A lot of these streamers want to play the game, want to do a lot of kills, but end up doing everything solo, sniping, 46 kills. That's the thing. There's someone that needs to be doing the medic stuff while nobody else wants to do it. If you are a content creator and you're starting to get bored of the game, so of course you're going to be negative about the game itself and the community. You're going to start complaining about what the community is, what it does, and why it's not playing the way you want it to play. A lot of these streamers have to be online for 15 hours a day. And when you do something 15 hours a day, of course, it gets boring at this point. Even if you could be playing video games all day, you're basically forced to play. These streamers realize that. NADESHOT is just done with Battlefield 6. He had enough at this point, and this is why. He doesn't like reviving it at all, and it's becoming a big problem nowadays where Call of Duty players are coming into Battlefield 6 wanting to make their own conclusions
about when they say, oh, COD players don't revive, they don't play the objective and whatever. And let me make something clear. Even if those people don't come from COD and they are primarily Battlefield players, they're still playing like how a stereotypical COD player would play Battlefield. We don't like those people either. It's just, with all the stuff that's happened with gaming recently, especially Call of Duty related, it's not really unreasonable to assume that a lot of these players who just don't play the game correctly are refugee COD players who just don't know what they're doing. And apparently it seems like NADESHOT has been experiencing those players as well, so congratulations. Now you understand why everybody is so mad about it. And what he said there at the end about Battlefield players being the worst players he's played with at a base level, I'll comment on that one in a
Nature of the experiences I've had with them, they have the lowest skill floor that I have ever seen. I mean, oh my god, brother. These motherfuckers are lost. Damn. I'm sure the top 1% are really good at the game, brother, but holy shit.
Now, as to which game has the lower skill floor, COD or Battlefield, I think you could argue either. But what I will say is it's kind of hard to know.
So yeah, there's a big problem with Battlefield 6. It mostly relies on playing with other players, and NADESHOT is pissed off because these players are not reviving. Again, the player count of Battlefield 6 right now is dropping to a whopping 300, and that's still pretty good for a release of the game, but there's something I'm more worried of, and that Battlefield 6 might drop in players when Call of Duty Black Ops 7 releases. Not that Black Ops 7 will be a better game, we don't know enough about it, if it's gonna be a good or bad, but there is something that Call of Duty is gonna do. It's not gonna have this team-based reviving features. You can just respawn and run around basically, regardless of if you're a good player or bad player with SBMM. In Battlefield 6, it's completely different, and it does seem like that the game, at least the Battle Royale mode, is connected more on having different classes and working with each other, which a lot of players from Call of Duty, which to be fair, so many people, you know, of the Battlefield 6 community are Call of Duty players. They do not want to get back to Call of Duty. They don't want to play zombies anymore. They want to play the same stuff. They want to join Battlefield 6, but they still want to have the old stuff that made Call of Duty popular.
And we won't really know until we're a decent bit into Black Ops 7. And the reason I say it's hard to know is because for the past 6 years, Call of Duty has had skill-based matchmaking. And the whole point of skill-based matchmaking is to put you with clones of yourself in games. There hasn't been a genuine multiplayer Call of Duty experience since Black Ops 4, which is
the issue is with Battlefield 6 is a lot of these streamers are relying purely on the aim while forgetting other aspects as vehicle driving, tanks, helicopters. All of this make you a good player while everybody's looking at scoreboard and thinking the size of eliminations, which is one of the only things that matters in Call of Duty, which gives you and rewards you with score streaks. And people are very frustrated with that they're just quitting at this point. Call of Duty has always been about getting matched with other players and shooting the heck out of them, while in Battlefield 6, it just gives you either a good player or a bad player. Remember, guys, having a bad aim does not make you a bad player if you can capture objectives, if you can repair vehicles. But again, the streamers here are going a full 180 and saying that, oh, if you don't revive me because I'm getting more kills, well, then you're just a bad player and you don't deserve to play the game. You should try something else. No. In Battlefield 6, it really is different than Call of Duty. That's why a lot of people are moving away from Call of Duty, because it's gotten way too toxic, where people are way too good at the game, and there's many professional players playing every single day.
Oh, I don't get mad at people who are bad on my team. Obviously, everybody does after a certain amount of time. But I usually don't hyper-fixate on how bad my teammates are, because guess what? I'm too busy having a good time with my friends. Battlefield especially, I find it hard to stay mad at it for too long. Because sure, we'll be complaining about like our teammates being bad or not reviving us and whatnot, and then all of a sudden, boom, a plane or a helicopter crashes right in front of us and sends a bunch of bodies ragdolling, and it's hilarious and we instantly feel better. You know, obviously me and the boys in the late night Discord call aren't just talking about how great life is.
So yeah, NADESHOT is just frustrated. A lot of Battlefield players are new to the game, and he doesn't like that. He wants all of these players to be super good and helping him just on his team. What about the enemy team? They don't even care about that. I just find it super confusing that a lot of these streamers, you know, expect Battlefield 6 players to be some kind of pro players. When you join in on Battlefield 6 Battle Royale, it's absolutely dominating and sweating with people who have played Battle Royale or Warzone games before. It is really incredible at that point how many people are playing the game good just after 1 week it released. That's because they are playing this full time, and that does not make it fun. People like Asmongold have stopped enjoying the game because there's a lot of Battlefield 6, basically pro players at this point. But when you look at it, there's plenty of streamers, plenty of players in Call of Duty that just want to enjoy it casually. They don't want to put all their effort and sweat after a hard day of work and just put everything aside. And I feel like this is a big problem in Battlefield 6 right now, where you have half of the community which complains about the new players coming in and not being good at the game, and then you have the other half which just notices how players are getting better and better at the game, especially when they see streamers play and all these pro players are starting to join in. So yeah, it is much divided, the Battlefield 6 community, but what do you guys think? NADESHOT is definitely not happy right now.
That clip of him that I just showed where he said that Battlefield players are way worse than COD players going viral. Let's see what he has to say.
It might be Battlefield's... I don't think I'm important enough to be Battlefield's public enemy #1, but just over the course of the last 5 days from when this clip of me saying that the Battlefield players are the lowest skill community that I've ever encountered, they didn't like that. They didn't like that one bit.
There was a lot of mean things said because it's far from it. A lot of these content creators, you know, they've been in the game for many, many years, and they notice when players are really bad at the game. But Battlefield 6 is not like that. There's plenty of players who have been playing Battlefield for the last 14 years at this point. If you want to look something like Fortnite or Roblox, sure, there's going to be bad players. But in Battlefield 6, I just feel like it's a mix of both. But these streamers want to make it into what? Next Call of Duty tournament? Let's not make it like that. Let's make it something completely unique that people will love to see. Let's not make it into every single game into some kind of a tournament mode at this point. What do you guys think? Smash that like button.